Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and this one, it's a pretty cool one. I think it's because these are some countries you might even not know. Probably you know, I think you know at least one of them, but can you guys think of 5 countries that do not have international football teams? Well, today in this video, I'm going to be going over 5 of those countries that do not have international football teams. So I'm going to be going for each of them, maybe go for the history of the country. And by the way, they have maybe played some like friendly games, but none of them have been like affiliated. So they might have played some like random games against some other teams, but they haven't really played like any official games because and none of these teams are part of FIFA. So let's get into this. 5 countries that do not have national teams. So we're going to start off with number 5. Number 5 is Palau. Palau does not have a national team. They currently have like around 18,000 people. Pretty cool place. Their capital is Negurumud. I'm going to say Nurulmud. I think the G might be silent. It's spelled N-G-E-R-U-L-M-U-D. So I'm just going to pronounce it Nurulmud. They kind of actually have the currency of the U.S. dollar. And like they were a big part of World War II. There were a lot of bases there during World War II. So it was pretty cool. It's like it's a very tropical place. It was actually a bit conquered actually by the Spanish at one point, which is kind of cool. It was conquered by like the Spanish Philippines, which is kind of odd. During World War II, the United States took Palau from Japan because Japan conquered Palau, and then USA took it back. And then like there was a lot of battles going on. There was still a lot of cannons, a few airstrips there. I mean, like a few cannons underwater, like a few planes underwater. It's really cool, some stuff. And there, they gained their independence in 1978. So that's pretty good from the Federated States of Micronesia. And yeah, to this day they've been pretty good. I mean, like it's a pretty cool place to go to, a place that you might want to go to, and I think it's pretty cool. So Palau is one of those countries that does not have a national team though. They've played a few like maybe games, but not really anything. So now we go on to number 4. Number 4, we have the Marshall Islands. Another small Pacific island that was part of World War II. The Marshall Islands has 59,000 people. Their capital is Majuro. And it's spelled M-A-J-U-R-O. It also has a good amount of history because it was also part of World War II. It's also one of those small places. There have been like actually a lot of like nuke testing there. A little bit sad maybe, but there have been like a lot of nuke testing there. It was part of World War II. It was actually taken by the German Empire in like the 1940s. It was actually taken by the German Empire, like Germany in 1885. Actually, fun fact. And then at the beginning of World War I, Japan took over Marshall Islands, and then in 1944, America took it back, and then a nuclear testing began in like 1946, like to 58. Like in 1946, nuclear testing began on this place called Bikini Atoll. It's like a kind of like a black hole in the water. It looks like really weird. And then for like a while, they've been doing like a lot of nuclear testing there, like big like cool stuff. But nobody can really live there because if you do, then you're probably gonna get killed or like vaporized or something like that. Or probably intoxicated because the nuclear gets in your lungs and it kills you immediately because it's nuclear, like it's like toxic. So so that's it. And again, the national team, it's actually bigger in like games than Palau, but it still hasn't really done much. It's not that big, but it is pretty big for like nuclear stuff. So yeah, Marshall Islands is the fourth one. Number 3, we have the Federated States of Micronesia, and I promise this is the final one that we have from the Pacific Islands. So yeah, we have the Federated States of Micronesia. There's 115,000 people in the Federated States of Micronesia. The capital is Palikir, spelled Palikir, and it's obviously sorry guys, but it's also another place. It's another island. It's island. It's kind of like the Marshall Islands, but it's a lot bigger because it's a group of islands. They were taken over by the Spanish from actually a while. They were by the Spanish from like 1574 to 1899. They were part of the Spanish for a while. Then they were part of the German New Guinea kind of armor from 1899 to 1914. Then they were part of like the Japanese from like 1914 1919, and then and then they were part of the South Seas like Japanese stuff. So they were part of the Japanese for a while, but then they gained their independence from it in 1947, and then they became the Federated States of Micronesia in 1979. Again, they were a big part of World War II. If you gotta remember, a bunch of these small islands, like probably all the small islands, were part of World War II and even World War I, because there were a lot of bases back then. Like Palau's a big one, Marshall Islands is also a big one. A lot of these small islands had a lot of things to do with World War II. It's because they allowed World War II on those islands. Since then, there's been a lot of tribes there. They have like their own tribes. They got still a lot of native people there. And then there's not a lot of stuff going on there. But it's pretty cool. There's actually 607 islands there, 2,900 kilometers across those islands. So that's pretty cool. And their language is like their own Micronesian language. And by the way, you should actually watch this Geography Now video explaining Micronesia. And there's actually this really cool castle I actually watched myself. So you should watch that Geography Now video if you want to know more about Micronesia. But Micronesian, again, they haven't really played much. I think they played actually Federated. They actually played Marshall Islands, but they haven't really done much again because it's just it's like a bunch of random islands. They don't really have a lot to do, but they have maybe played in some games. Maybe they played in a few games. Who knows? But that's the end of that. So number 2, we have the Vatican City. Obviously, it has to be the Vatican City because the Vatican City, the least amount of people in any country, with only 825 people, 109 acres. The capital is obviously Vatican City, and obviously the Pope lives there. So yeah, and not really many people are even there. Not many people really go there because it's just a lot of people go there, but not a lot of people live there because it is a very small size. And obviously there's not a lot of history about it. There is history, but it's really it's kind of like San Marino or Liechtenstein or Andorra, those small nations, because it's a lot of stuff before Europeans were there, kings and stuff. But in 1870, the Pope they left Rome, and then during World War II, there were a good amount of stuff going on there, and that the reason they're called the Vatican is because the Roman Republic and stuff like that. But, like, again, there's not a lot of history about Vatican City, and they actually have played a lot of odd friendlies. Like, they played a lot of really weird friendlies because, like, probably because teams want to get money, if I'm being honest. That's what I think. The last game was against the World Roma Federation in a 7-7 friendly in November. They've also played games against the Representativa OPBG, which was actually a hospital. They played them in a friendly. So yeah, like they've also played against Ratia. They played against FC Azori Shan. They played against Monaco. Borussia Mönchengladbach. That's probably their biggest team. A few games against mostly Monaco, Palestine, the China Olympic team, San Marino B, some odd kind of stuff. But Vatican City, it's a pretty cool one. But we go on to the final one. And can you guess what it is? I'll give you a few clues if you can't think already. A lot of casinos, rich people living there. Probably the most famous F1 race. Of course, it's Monaco. Monaco, the Principality of Monaco. They already have their own club there, so that's why there's not really a team. AS Monaco is their big team, who's been around there for like a while. There's 39,000 people there, and the place is only 499 acres. It's inside. Well, it's on the outskirts of the Mediterranean Sea, but next to France. Monaco, obviously, a lot of people love going there because it's a cool place. Like, you got all these casinos, you got the F1 race in, like, May. So that's pretty cool. And a lot of F1 racers or Formula 1 racers actually live there. And obviously, it looks really cool because you got all the luxury people. Like, the only people who are really living there are luxury people. If you're a random person, you're probably not going to live there because there's so much money there. So, yeah, that's 5 countries that don't have national teams. We got Palau, Marshall Islands, Federated Micronesia, Vatican City, and Monaco. What's the most surprising to you? What do you think is the most surprising? If you like these videos, then click a like on the video, put a like, because it helps the channel out and I really like it. So, hope you guys like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!